Hello everyone, I'm Max McAllister and I'm back with another in my series on how to create an epic outdoor fireplace for the FireRock company and to how to create a Waterwall feature in conjunction with it at the same time. So what we've arrived at is a section where I've gone from sheer structural work and straight ahead stonework that the average person would engage in. And now we're going to do some beauty work and artwork that you're not going to really ever have access to if you were to hire a contractor, but yet you would have control over if you were to be involved in your own construction process. So what I want to show you is how we created our own stone arch. So I was able to go shop for my own stones, which had this blackish gray nature, which completely deviated from the Tennessee fieldstone that we were going to line the fireplace with. And then each year I compete in an epic mountain bike race called the Leadville Trail 100. And what I did without anyone noticing it is, while this just kind of looks like a beautiful scene of mountains, this is actually a super cool trick. This is the elevation profile precisely cut out of the race of the Leadville Trail 100 mountain bike race. So this is the in and out effect of 104 miles of racing in Colorado above 10,000 feet of elevation gain. So that's the elevation profile, but you have to watch as it evolves because it gets pretty cool from there. Here's a day where I cut myself with a stone saw on my wrist. By accident, I warned you there would be pain. All right, now, what I did with these was the same thing I told you about earlier. I used the Sikaflex heavy duty instant bonding construction grade adhesive. And so I mapped all the stones, I bored a hole into the structure, and then I put a short chunk of 5/8 rebar in there to each one, bored a short hole into the back of each stone, and then I stuck each stone to be sure that it would never be able to fall off of the structure and injure someone. All right, very important. You can kind of see. Now, what I had to do was extend the gap to the outer housing of my gas key. And soon to come is going to be one of the coolest gas keys you've ever seen in your life related to fireplace. Now, remember early on when I talked to you about how important it was for the fireplace structure where you chose your base plate to be. We really enjoy that we chose having this. We didn't chose, I'm sorry, it was a mistake that we did not delete the base plate from the FireRock fireplace. And we like this short course of stone with coarse jagged edges above the level. If you leave that base plate out, your mantle will be flush with your bench height. Okay, so it's an important consideration. There's no right, no wrong. Like I told you before, nothing right, nothing wrong. Now, what I did was I suddenly started realizing how cool and how beautiful this was going to be, and just how calm and beautiful that appearance was going to be. And so it appears kind of yogic to me, kind of Buddhist, and I kind of dig that. So here we are. Now the way you work with your stones is basically you pitch them around in the yard looking for one that will fit the next hole you want to fit. So then all you do that is you just keep throwing them off. So eventually you end up with a huge mess. Huge, beyond your imagination mess. All right? Total disaster. But what you're looking for is that next stone that's you're going to pick it up, it's going to fill that hole, right? Or one that you can beat with a hammer for a few seconds and you're going to chip a piece off and it's going to fill the gap. Now you notice I moved my valve from up here down to here. I wanted things where I could reach them. And I knew I was going to need a control box, and I didn't want to look at all this, the pumps and crap. So that was the next thing I had to consider. So we're starting to get the back pretty complete. And by the way, you'll notice this is just slime and goo and shit all over everything. That's going to go away, but it only happens at the very, very end, unfortunately. So here's some plumbing I got going. Plumbing. So now we went to the stone yard because we wanted to try and study the stones and figure out what would look good in the bottom of the thing. It's actually important that you kind of look at my hands. They don't even look real human. They look like they're made of wood. This is horrible. This is what this job will do to you. It'll shrivel your body into ruins. Now, I decided that Buddha would look cool in our backyard. So I found an American company that makes spectacular statues, spectacular statuary. And I contacted them, and turns out they have a beautiful Buddha. And they sent me a Buddha that was exactly right for my project. He's about 18 inches tall, about 12 inches wide. And so I have him kind of watching me as I work. And so Buddha's kind of chillaxing. Now, so finding the right depth for the studs was a problem. So I had to cut the studs because as you bore into the stones, you can't have it blow through and break the rock, right? So that's a problem. Seriously, freaking awesome. Buddha has found a home. So he's totally chilling. Now you can see the keystone we've created and the arch stones, and you can kind of see that I've got a flow going to them. Here's a little look at what this might look like. So you see how the jagged stones let water flow out and make thousands and thousands of raindrops. So that's pretty cool. Kind of nailing that down. There's the arch, but I don't have the arch perfected yet. If you watch, you'll see I don't have this perfected yet. It's kind of still jagged. It doesn't look right. We tried some construction of stairs here. I still wasn't happy yet because this area wasn't the way I wanted it to be. So here's what happens when the stone wheel touches your hand. Before you know it, it'll just slice across a couple of your fingers, and then you just start bleeding. So now I've started working with lighting. So this took time. No one's going to take the time to do this right, except you. So you're going to have to take the time. So I did 100 iterations of lighting, where I placed lighting above, below, everywhere around Buddha, who knows what. Here's another shot to my shin. More blood pouring out. My fingertips are so cut that I have tape, bandages, and electrical tape and shit all over me, trying to keep blood from leaking out of me everywhere. So here's some cool fun stuff, because we're using Atlantic lighting again for this. and Atlantic lighting lets me create all kinds of moods for this stuff. So we're going to pause here on the water feature, and we'll come back and talk about the control box, and we'll be back in a minute. So I'm Max. Don't forget to like this video, and I'll be right back. Share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.